Welcome to Speak Harmony, hosted by Sharon Thompson and Dr. Sharon Reid, bringing news, ideas, and community needs. We learn, we grow, we stay informed together in harmony. Our voices are heard. Speak Harmony, where knowledge meets community.
So we want to welcome you all to another episode of the Speak Harmony podcast. We're live here on YouTube each Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. We would like to thank our sponsors, APAP Media, a photo and production full-service media company specializing in podcasting, multi-camera recording, video and live streaming services, and many more. You may contact APAP Media at 470-657-1998. Again, that's 470-657-1998. Or you may email them at info@apapmedia.com. That's info@apapmedia.com. We want to thank you once more and welcome. My name is Sharon Thompson, by the way, and it's just a joy to be with you every Tuesday. And we have
Dr. Sharon, the Heart Lady, you already know. And we're here. Thank you so much again for joining. So, Sharon, as usual, what did you do this weekend or this week? Because I know, say, as a lady, you love connecting. You do a lot of things. So tell us.
You always have me thinking. There was so much going on this weekend. We had a plethora of things happening in Georgia. The one I got involved in was a brunch on Sunday. That was great. That was a community thing.
Yeah.
But I wasn't there, but I was there in spirit, kind of, sort of. And we'll talk about that later. But it was just a beautiful event that took place in South Florida. I wished I was there, but like I said, I was there in spirit. So a lot of stuff happened around the Hotlanta as usual.
Yeah.
How says you?
I went to a great networking event on Sunday.
Awesome.
Peer Connection, met wonderful people. It was an awesome platform. And we'll talk about that again later too.
Ooh, twinkle, twinkle.
So yeah, we are doing what we do. We are connecting.
Yes.
Yes.
We've got some great.
Being
We've got
part
a
of the
special
community.
guest in
Yes.
the house, sister.
All right.
So let me tell you, we've got some great people. We have got amazing guest lineup. But guess what? We have a super special lady. And so we're going to go ahead and do the
before we do that, we forgot about
the day.
National Day.
We're so excited. We're so
she's
excited.
so excited.
I
You're
am
so excited to
get
meet our
started.
guest.
Come on.
But National Day,
Yes.
National Teacher Appreciation Day is on Tuesday, and they celebrate usually for the full week in May. And it's just a reminder to show how much we appreciate teachers. So do you have a special teacher that you would shout out, that you remember? Because, teachers, there are certain teachers that just stay in our heart, and you just don't forget them, right? Is there a teacher?
Yes, my favorite was my physics teacher, my Spanish teacher. My Spanish teacher, first of all, rest her soul, was Mrs. Feng Yi. And years ago, I ran into her sister and her niece right here in Atlanta.
Wow.
And we're all a part of the same organization, the AJA.
Yeah.
So I want to shout out to Mrs. Feng Yi. She taught me Spanish, and she made it so palatable for me.
Yeah.
I was called teacher's pet, but that's...
Yeah, we know.
I mean, she loved me. I really adored her.
Yeah.
And then I had my physics teacher, Waldo Brown, who migrated from New York. He followed me here. He's still in South Georgia. So yes, shout out. They made lasting impressions on me.
Yeah. I remember my third grade teacher had a lasting impression. She was the first one to introduce me to Miriam Makeba. Yes, and we did a dance, third grade. Yes, so you talking...
Girl.
Early 70s.
Wow, good for you though.
Yeah, so I remember her for that, and she used to make candles as well. And so she gave us a trip to her house, and she showed us all the candles that she made. It was really inspirational. So I never forget her. And then again, my sixth grade teacher who really taught me the value of reading. And that's where I got my first taste in tutoring and teaching from her.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you teachers, right?
Without teachers, though,
I mean,
there's
really.
nobody. I mean, really, teachers are
Vital.
important. They're
Vital.
the most important.
That's right. And so also it is Nurses Week. So, I mean, the list goes on.
That goes without saying.
Right? For who we can shout out, all the nurses. My mother was a nurse. My sister is a nurse.
Yes.
So shout out to the nurses who are really work during those hard times, those who really care for their patients, those that go the extra mile, those that are culturally sensitive. Shout out to pediatrics and adult medicine, all the nurse practitioners that I help to collaborate so they get their clinical skills.
Yes.
So nurses to my heart.
Nurses, yes. Because the running joke with that, though, is that in my family on both sides, that they didn't know what else to do. They didn't know any other profession. And I'm not,
Is that
not
a
exaggerating.
nurse or a teacher, right?
Nurses or teachers or doctors.
That's right.
That's
it.
medical. Nobody did anything else. So there were tons. On one side, there's about 19 nurses, and I'm going, God, really? I didn't want to be one of them because I was squirmish.
Yeah,
I shout you out, and we so appreciate love all of you.
All of you.
Thank
That's
you so much
definitely.
for your service.
And so also, interesting enough, is National Astronaut Day.
Really?
And on May 5th, on each year,
Wow.
astronauts. I almost said astronauts, like I'm so proper. Astronauts are true heroes, and the day's mission is to inspire all to what? Reach for the stars. Reach for the stars.
Yes,
And
love it.
I have two more. This was a month full. I just couldn't pick, so I'll just talk about them real quickly. On May 5th, Sharon, is National Silence the Shame Day. And it brings an opportunity to continue the conversation about what? Mental health and wellness.
Yes.
And that's your thing.
Oh,
we
absolutely.
always talk about
Absolutely.
mental health and wellness. So we want to be able to erase the stigma
Yes.
about
Yes.
it's not a shame thing.
Not a shame.
Right?
It's a disease.
And it's
It's a
slowly
it's getting
diminishing. The stigma. And so no longer I'll leave them alone. They're mad. Now I mean that's what we used to say, right, man?
Yeah.
Leave them alone. They're mad or they're crazy.
Or
Don't
they will
deal
be
with them.
embarrassed.
Or they're
You
too
keep them in their
embarrassed.
room.
Yes,
Don't come out. Leave them back there. Don't tell them.
And to be able to recognize
Yeah,
the signs
yeah,
of
yeah.
mental illness. So I could not leave that one out.
Yes.
Right? And then there's another one that a lot of people don't talk about. This is the day where they kick off Foster Care Month.
And so we want to shout out all those fostering parents, people who care beyond. I just saw an article with a woman who said her foster, God, I don't want to twist that up, but she said her foster child became her forever child.
She adopted her.
Oh my gosh, yes. And that just warmed
Yeah.
my heart because she says that was the best thing she ever did.
Yeah.
So fostering, shout outs to you.
Yes,
It takes a
to
special
those,
kind of person to do that.
To take in children of
Yes.
many
Yes.
ages and
Different
problems
issues
that they may
yes,
have,
yes,
it takes a
yes.
heart.
It does.
And for
we
those
thank
who
you.
are doing it for the love and not for the money.
That part.
Because there are those that just
That is
do
correct.
for the money.
The career,
Right.
the career foster.
Okay.
But anyway,
And lastly, I know I was in between whether I was going to talk about, in Mexico, Cinco de Mayo observance is really small. It's big in the U.S., right?
course.
But it's really small. It's grown into this full-blown cultural celebration, but really it marks Mexico's victory over France at the Battle of Puebla, which is really, it's a small space, but it did help to boost national pride. And so for that, I felt like it was worth mentioning. And a lot of Mexicans do not celebrate, but it is about commemorating the underdog and their military victory.
Yes.
And so for thence, I give pause and say, hey,
yeah.
You know, it's Cinco de Mayo, and I wish people would think that it's more about drinking
Consciousness,
tequila
that's
and
it.
eating tacos.
That's correct.
Hello.
Getting wasted. Yeah. So I like that. Wow. So
that was a lot.
Ooh. Let's get into it. Let's get into it because time is dwindling and we want to just do what we got to do. So we've got with us, Sharon, an amazing lady. And she is a Caribbean author, storyteller, known for writing inspirational and cultural rooted fiction and explores themes like identity, spirituality, resilience, that word, that buzzword, and personal transformation. She's best known for her books. So she's got 3 of them.
Okay.
And the latest one, so I'll just scan through it, but The Island Spice and Everything Nice, her first novel. And she's got another one called, let's see, what's it here?
I think the first one was My Father Said.
My Father, that's it, sorry.
My Father Said.
And then Island Spice and Everything. So she is an author of sorts. I mean, just really, really, she's a maroon, or she's from that space. And so this last novel, it's a sequel, continuation of her storytelling journey. It's called Return to Kindah. It's right here, displayed right here. She's none other than Norma Rowe-Edwards. Welcome to the Speak Harmony podcast.
Thanks for having me.
You are so welcome. Looking beautiful as ever.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. So let's get into it. So what does Kindah mean? What does that symbolize in just a place?
Kindah
Kindah.
is a Twi language. It's a Twi word. Yeah.
okay.
African word, which means we are family.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
Kindah,
I will
wow.
definitely be using that.
Kindah, we are family.
We're family.
All right. And
And we are family. You see, the word Kindah originated during the struggle or fight for freedom that our ancestors experienced between the Spaniards and the British. We, in 1738, we won that war. Okay, in 1738,
that's right.
exactly, we won that war. In 1738, we won the war between us and the British. Of course, nobody hears about that.
That's
It's a war the British lost. Okay, how did Kindah come into being? Kindah came into being because we had Ashanti, Congolese, Coromantee, all fighting, jostling for space. And Kojo, at that time, our leader, he said, look, we got to beat the British. This is our goal. And in order to do it, we got to put our differences aside. We have to unite. Okay? Leave it alone. We have to unite.
And who
We've
are
got
we?
to. We is the Ashanti, Coromantee,
Right.
Congolese.
And
there
where
were
were they?
Igbo.
Okay.
Yes, there were Igbo. There were other Africans tribe who came in to the struggle. But Kojo said, cut that
And
out.
where was that? Where did that all
That
take place?
happened in a compound
In Jamaica.
In Jamaica.
Interesting. So, guys,
Okay.
because I know you're kind of a little puzzled, like, where is that? Where did that take place?
Yeah.
Not on these grounds. Back in Jamaica, on that little dot on the map, Jamaica.
The little dot on
That
the
little dot.
map.
Yes, ma'am.
A place now called St. Elizabeth, okay, which at one time it was Trelawney Town.
yes.
Okay, it was Trelawney Town, but it's now St. Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And Kojo, the leader at that time, he said, look, stop your nonsense. Come together. We've got to unite to beat the British. And that they did, and they won.
Yeah. And created a treaty. So that, there was a negotiation, an understanding.
There was a negotiation.
Yes.
But what has happened over the years, Jamaica is Jamaica is the island. Mm-hmm. A compound is the nation within the nation of Jamaica.
Nicely put.
It is. Yes, it is. However, the Jamaican government has not officially recognized Jamaica and recognized the Maroons. They have not. As far as the Jamaican government is concerned, right now, we don't exist. Yes, we don't. Yeah, yes, we don't. Oh, no, we don't. I don't.
No, we don't.
Yes. Honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, so, so Kindah is a calling for us Maroons in a compound town, in the diaspora,
yes.
because yes, we're all over,
Yes.
to put aside our differences, especially at a time like now, because our treaty, okay, and our legacy, because with the legacy came land. Mm-hmm. That land is still under threat unless we come together and unite.
Yeah.
And it's ironic. No, it's not ironic. No, I don't think it is. At this time, we're in a period where the Maroons are preparing for the election of a leader. Okay? What the treaty gave us is the right to manage, the right to self-govern, the right to make our laws. Yes, yes, it did. Okay, albeit it happened how many 100 years ago, but there's a thing called negotiation. Okay, and the Jamaica politico needs to understand what negotiation means, and then how to negotiate in the space. You cannot, they ought not to take away or give meaning to a treaty between two sovereign parties, a compound town or Trelawney Town Maroons and the British government. You just cannot. So return to Kindah is a call.
Yeah.
And within that call, we know that we're coming into a space guided by our Creator. Okay? And know that His legacy is there for us, knowing that He wants us to prosper, knowing that if there's ever a time to do the right thing, it's right now.
Right now.
Ooh,
Let's go give you
I love that.
standing
I love
ovation
that.
there.
Yes, yes.
And we love your passion, about that. How does the book Kindah really conceptualize freedom from in the past to today? I see that the word, when you were talking about what Kindah meant, I was thinking about it would be great if we could unite, just like how you were talking about the Maroons in Jamaica and all the other Africans that were there that were fighting for their own slavery. We're here fighting for some liberty, right?
We are.
And so how do you think your book compares with that?
The book compares with that. Give me a second. The book compares with that because if we only remember and recognize that during the Atlantic slave trade, Africans were dropped all over the world. Okay? Wow. If we only realize that. So I go back to something that my father shared with me and drove into me. We are not deficient. We're only different. The difference is our purpose.
We're not deficient. We
Are different. Yes.
And we shouldn't look for the difference. We should look for the commonality.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for sharing that. Resistance. What's your feeling about that word, resistance?
One of my cousins, is it resistance? Is it struggle? Is it a fight? And what is resistance?
What is that? Yeah.
Yeah. When is there resistance?
Interesting.
Yes. Yeah.
Jeez. Let me tell you, we've got so much to unpack. And I'm just going to say this to you. It's warming my heart. And I wish we had 3 days to unpack this. And I mean this because you've got so much fire in you. And I heard this from a brother, a friend of mine from the community, who's also maroon. And, I will say this much because we have to pay homage to Heidi. Every time I think of it, okay, those brave soldiers, those Buffalo soldiers, those folks that fought for these Americas that we call home right now. Temporary home, our temporary home, I call it. We just have to be thankful. And so you said it, so you made it so palatable because instead of the division, the deficiencies, if we just say we are one people separated by water, get ourselves together and fight those evil forces that continue to take from us. They continue to zap our energies. That's Norma.
I saw it go.
I saw it go. I saw it go. Yes, I saw it go.
Okay.
And I'm going to say we're wrapping up here, but how can you really, place this in the space where you say the responsibility for the younger generations having to preserve the history? What would you leave with them? What would you say what is that blueprint that you have for them? Except return to Kindah is the blueprint. Yes, I know that. But what would you say to the folks that are searching?
To the younger generation X, they call them, or whatever.
I think we're to YZ now.
Maybe, whatever. To the young people, just remember that someone came before you. And as Dr. Sharon said earlier, the teachers, somebody taught me. My father did, but somebody took the interest to pour into my spirit as I was open.
Yeah.
So we don't know it all, and we cannot know it all. We never will know it all.
Yeah.
Okay? So you have to yield that spirit to the spirit of, look, somebody else was there before you.
So I'm interested what inspired you to write this book during this time as your third book.
The thing is, what inspired me is actually what I see going on in the world. Not only in a compound town, but in the world. How blacks, their group, that is what inspired me. And to know that, leadership has a responsibility. And to pass on that responsibility to the leaders, to the children, and to the readers. What also inspired me is the fact that we're sovereign. And what does sovereignty means? What does being sovereign means? What responsibility comes with sovereignty? And sovereignty has a cost.
Absolutely. And I think that is very appropriate that you talk about that because this is the month where we are voting for some of the leaders in our counties.
It's election
so
season.
it's election season, right? And responsibility is important. Before we leave, Sharon, can I ask one more question?
Go right ahead. 'Cause we want to show.
We're gonna
we're gonna be
show a little
displaying
bit more.
that, yes.
But I was interested because you talked about your dad and we talked about who teaching us. So, what role did our ancestors play in shaping the identities that we have, especially how it is written in your book?
What the role that they play is a stick-to-itiveness, if there's such a word.
I like that.
Okay.
Stick
Thanks to it.
Stick-to-itiveness. And pardon me if I'm not sounding myself. You see, 2 years ago I had a stroke.
Well,
that's
thank
why
God.
I'm here.
You're still with us, and you're not going anywhere. Because God,
So the
your
stroke,
purpose is
the
still-
stroke we struck out.
I struck it out. Yes. So, but that's it.
Yes, thank you
In
for that.
spite of our differences, we still stick together.
So we're going to give
Kindah.
you a little taste of what Return to Kindah is about. So guys, this weekend is the big launch. Okay?
hey,
This
folks.
weekend on the 9th of May. And it's going to be at a space over there. I'll tell you in a second where we're getting ready to do this thing. So Ms. Norma's about to do a thing. And that launch right there, it says Return to Kindah is going to be at Brood Up, that space in Lilburn at 4805 Lawrenceville Highway, Suite 320A. That's in Lilburn, Georgia. For her book signing, it's 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. on this coming Saturday. You've got a few days to meet the Miss Norma Rowe-Edwards. Look, it's what they say, little but tallow.
Tallow.
That's what we say.
Yes.
She's one firecracker.
Cracker,
So
yes.
we thank you. We just want to, we're so grateful. We're so blessed to have been in your presence. And we look forward to seeing you soon, right here.
Thanks,
Same time, same
thanks
place.
for having me.
You are so
Thank
welcome.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So when we get back, we will have more for you guys. Gear up.
Just a second, Mama.
What an interesting first half, Sister Sharon.
Yeah, and did you know that we didn't big her up? Did you know she was a nurse, a midwife too?
You know, I should have known.
All right, the caring heart.
So,
yes.
yes. But as we go, we've got some interesting stuff coming up this weekend. This weekend, as usual, it's Hotlanta, as they call it, as they rightfully call it. There's so many things happening here. There's never a dull moment in Hotlanta. So there's a bunch of things going on this weekend. And we're about to share with you some of the fun stuff that's coming up this weekend. So guys, we've got a full weekend of the Clarendon College event coming up this weekend. It's a 3-day event. Oh yeah, from Friday through Sunday. Oh my God.
And we know Clarendon is special to your heart.
Oh well, that goes
Clarendon
without,
girl.
That goes without say. So Clarendon College.
Yes.
Let me tell you, big up. They've got their meet and greet on Friday evening. It's going to be at the Golden Crust over there in Lawrenceville, 676 Duluth Highway. Then on Saturday, that's Friday evening, meet and greet. Then on Saturday, May 9th, from 7 to 1 a.m. at the Clarendon College Gala is going to be at Atlanta Marriott Hotel down there, 2000 Century Boulevard, which is off the 285 or 85, I-85, my bad, I-85. Music by DJ Mike Rain. Don't charge it to my head and not my heart. But then on Friday, they have that jazz, Sunday, they have the jazz brunch. So oh man, it's a lot going on. So that's Clarendon College's event. Then we've got, that, I think
You said the run? Did we talk about the
We've got
Jamaican
the
run?
5K, so the Atlanta Jamaican Association 5K, Saturday morning. So we're just going nonstop. So come out and really support us this high 5K at Miller Grove Middle School in Decatur, Georgia.
Okay, a lot of
Get
things
there.
happening
Oh
in
my
Decatur
God, a
where
lot
it's
happening.
greater.
Just scan that QR code, sign up, because we
Yeah.
are doing it. It's a run for a purpose.
Yeah.
And then we have the Architect of Memory, which is on May 31st. That's coming up on May 31st. The Georgia Caribbean American Heritage Coalition. They're doing their thing. So May 31st, mark your calendars. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, and we'll
That's
bring
it.
that up.
Oh
and-
my gosh,
yeah.
we'll bring it again
Right.
next week.
And then I'm speaking.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Right?
Oh, we've got those
we got the
swimmers.
swimmers. Big
We
up
want
the
to say
swimmers
big up
in
to those
JA.
little,
Yes,
look at
right.
those little people. They swam and they did their best this
Yeah.
weekend in South Florida. So they made us really proud. That little
Yeah,
Jamaican
they so- every
aquatic
time I see that
artistic
picture, I
team.
smile. Yes.
So,
All
and
right.
Sister Sharon, you've got an event this weekend where you're going to be
where
featured
they're
somewhere.
awarding some women, and we're going to be talking about success and sowing seeds of success. So it's a women's conference, and I'm one of the guest speakers talking about success. And I'm going to be talking about it in a different manner, because when we think of the word success, I think we think of more material things. So I'm going to,
Put a
give
twist
it a
on it.
twist on it, because that's what I do.
Sure thing, sure thing.
All right, and that's going to be on at CLTV, and y'all can Google that, and the information is on the screen. Thank you for that time. All right.
We're going to jump into it.
We're gonna
because
jump
time
into
is
it.
of the essence, sister.
So
and
you
we
know,
don't want to waste
yeah.
any time with our next amazing guest.
We had this guest last week. His wife was the guest,
Yes.
and I kind of put him on the spot.
You sure did.
And then I said, you know what? We said we'd
Yes.
love to talk to him a little bit more.
Yes.
And I've been pushing him to give a workshop. And I told you folks that I also went to a networking event, and he was the keynote speaker.
Hello.
And his wife, it's called Peer Connect. And wonderful time, so we can get to chat about that. But let me introduce you to, once more, to Mr. Wilson Joseph. Two first names, or two last names. So nice, they had to do it twice. He is a CEO and founder of Level 3 MD. He's a certified cloud solution architect who has over 20 years of experience. He is a trusted authority in safeguarding the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information systems. Now, that is a mouthful. We'll break that down, but really it's about safeguarding our sensitive data, particularly to small and large companies. And he's also an AI advisor. Has a wonderful product out there, so I hope he shares about that product that he has. Mr. Wilson here, he specializes in developing enterprises, strategies that align people, processes, and technology to help organizations proactively manage cyber risks. So, without further ado, we welcome you, Mr. Wilson Joseph.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. So, your journey spans over 20 years.
Yes.
Where? How? You barely look 20 years old.
I know, right? Baby face.
I'm like, baby face. I know. 20 years. And I'm like, when? When did he start? At 2 months old? So what first sparked your interest in cybersecurity and technology?
Oh, 9/11. That's
Really?
how it's all started.
Okay.
When 9/11 happened, that's when my journey began. And when 9/11 happened, I was a screener at the Fort Lauderdale International Airport. At that time, I was a U.S. resident, not a U.S. citizen. So right after 9/11, the government took over, TSA took over, and I was out of work. So I went back to school for computer science, and then I landed my first job with a company called Gateway, doing tech support.
I remember that one.
Yeah, doing tech
a long
support
time.
over the phones, and ever since I never looked back.
Wow. Wow. So that was the inspiration. I need to do something.
Correct.
And you were still in the security space and you just made it larger.
Transition.
Wow,
to-
transition,
Yes,
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
So when we hear the term cyberspace, how would you describe that to lay people who are not techie, who don't understand what in the world is this information, technology and so forth? How would you describe that?
So I would describe it in 3 words: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. That's what cybersecurity is all about. I'll give you a few examples. For different industries, one matters more than the other. So, for example, lawyers, they care about confidentiality, right? A bank will care about integrity because if you add a zero behind a zero, it's no longer a
Whole
zero.
different thing, yes.
Right?
Whole different number. Whole different number.
Say it again. I like the way that sounded.
Yeah.
Please
Right.
say that again.
Yeah, if you add a zero behind a zero, so let's say if I have $100 in my bank account, I add a zero behind that, it's no longer $100.
That's right. That's right.
Become $1,000.
It's $1,000.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then when you talk about availability, a place like Amazon, they care about availability because if they goes down, or Facebook, they're losing millions per minute or
That's
hour.
right.
Probably.
Right.
And second.
Yeah, per second, exactly.
Yes.
Right? So
Every
Yeah.
second count. You say every minute count.
Every
second.
second counts.
Milliseconds
correct.
at that.
Correct.
That's right.
So
As soon as you order, boom, that order pretty much drops and it's delivered.
Yeah.
yeah. Those are the 3 core terms when it comes to cybersecurity.
And that makes sense. Yes. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability.
Availability.
And we
I
can
like
use
it a
those
lot.
3 words in a lot of different
In a
subjects.
lot of
yeah,
different
so I like
ways.
that.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
So, what are some of the most common mistakes would you say that companies, organizations make when it comes to protecting their data or their data, as some people say, data, tomato, tomato?
Yeah. So for big organizations, sometimes they're just not being proactive, they're being reactive, right? For smaller organizations, they think they are too small to get hacked. But in reality, they're never too small to get hacked. They just don't make the news, but they're not too small to get hacked. All right?
Yeah.
So those are the key
Because that is a mindset that a lot of the smaller business companies think they're too small, so they don't have to take the security measures
Correct.
in order. So, but they do. So, what would you say are the top 3 threats?
Oh, number 1 right now is definitely AI. AI is because now AI can clone people's voice. AI can do a lot of stuff. AI can write emails, very convincing emails. We have something that called phishing. AI can write emails that are very convincing. AI can call. AI can send text messages. So AI for me is the biggest threat. And the second would be ransomware.
What's that?
Ransomware.
What's that?
Ransomware is when somebody hold your computer hostage and demand you to pay them to unlock your computer. So essentially, you lock out of your systems and all your files are permanently locked.
So I'm glad you said that. So with ransomware, there are people out there paying for protection, supposedly. For me, the layman, I don't know what kind of protection I need for my laptop, my phone, my business, my whatever, because I'm a small entity.
Right.
And like you said, it doesn't matter the size of the entity, you still are open to being attacked. Are there? And I'm not telling you to sell it or promote any, but there are ways, and they can reach out to you,
Correct.
so you can help and to steer them further along. But what are some of the things that people should look out to protect what they have? I mean, because phone calls, I get 1 million phone calls per day, and I'm only a dot on the map.
Yeah.
But I get those calls rapidly from places I don't even know.
Correct. So when you get those calls, you have to be aware, right? And it has to be a mindset where there's a certain things you don't share. So, for example, your bank will never call you and ask you for your PIN, right? So those things they're personal. So you don't share your passwords. You don't use the same password in multiple accounts because it's one get compromised, meaning all of your accounts can be compromised, right? So you want to use a password manager to manage all your different passwords.
And you're using terminologies that the average person, average Jane doesn't know, because Jane over here, when you say password manager,
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but that camera over there is yours. And there are people who are saying, what does he mean by password manager? Why? Why do I need it? Who's that?
So a password manager, it's think of it as a vault where you keep all your unique passwords. So you have one master password, and that password unlocks every other passwords that you have. You can have it on your mobile phone. You can have it on your browser as an extension. So it makes it very easy and very convenient for you to use it. So there's not a lot of, we have a lot of friction in the industry that people think by adding an extra layer, it's inconvenience, the extra layer. But
I don't mind the two authentication,
two-factor.
Two-factor
Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I feel good when I get that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I used to get fussed up about it because I'm like, oh Lord, but you know what now?
No, it's
when
it
tell you,
shows
save your
security.
password.
Yeah.
There are people they're telling you when you put in a password, save it or not save it.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah. So for password, we never recommend that you save your password in your browser password manager because a good hacker or somebody who knows how to get into the system can actually crack it within a matter of seconds. So they actually have free tools out there that I run for when we're doing assessments, and then we show our clients how we crack the whole passwords in a matter of seconds.
Wow.
So that's why you want to use a password manager that have what we call encryption built into it. And it has a lot of algorithms that you have to go through in order to crack it. It's just the basic password manager in your browser just doesn't cut it. Yeah.
So would that be the third threat? What would be the third cyber threat?
So AI is the number one that we see, ransomware attack, and phishing. Phishing email would be the next one is when you receive an email, an urgent email. I was going to say, hey, we need for you to do this.
You haven't paid this bill, or we're getting rid of it. Yeah.
Exactly. We're going to turn off your account, or you're missing a deadline, something like that.
Yeah.
Anything urgent. Usually we like to tell people, stop and think first before you act.
Yeah, sometimes we get those like from Amazon. Someone just paid X amount. First thing I do is go to my bank account and look. I didn't pay for this, and then I know I didn't spend that amount of money. But I check on my bank account first, and then I don't even follow up with it. Right. But I do want to let people know that the phishing is PH.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
IS, and not F.
You're not
going on the phishing.
for fish that you eat. It's the PHISING.
Right.
But wow. So you've gone through the AI, the ransomware, the phishing, but you know what? There are two people. I mean, for our age group, I'm concerned, but a little less concerned. But with our seniors and our children, that's my gravest, my concern right there, because they target the youth. They target little developing minds that are not developed yet. And so they target them, and there's fear really just instilled in them. So they're going, oh my God. And then they go to the seniors.
Yeah.
So they'll reach out to a grandmother, I mean, an old, and when I say this, I mean a more senior person.
Right.
Because they know they're retired, because they do, let me tell you, those
no,
crooks,
they
they do their
know.
research.
Yeah.
And they will target you and they will call you. So once you pick that phone up, there's that fear, because I've heard some horror stories. Can you kind of address that, where if someone calls from an unknown number and you happen to answer it, like my husband does not answer phones, numbers that he doesn't know,
Right.
but I have to sometimes answer those unknown numbers that may look very identical to a number familiar to me.
Yeah.
How do you address those? I mean, when you answer that phone, what happens? What do you open yourself up to by answering a phone call?
Yeah, so obviously, like I mentioned, people are very convincing nowadays. When you receive a phone call that you're not sure, we have something that calls trust but verify. So if somebody's asking you to transfer, let's say I got a call from you, Dr. Sharon, and say, hey, I need you to wire X amount of money, right? I will hang up the phone and then use a different method to call you and ask you, did you make this call? Or send an email or something like that. You want to use, actually, it's always good to be verbal.
To verify.
To verify,
Right, but the question really is, when my phone rings, it rings now, it's ringing now, and I slide and I answer, hello. According to what I'm hearing,
Right.
and correct me on that, is that they're cloning your voice, and they're using it back on you to
Right.
do all this thievery. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, so we get that a lot. What we tell our clients is, or anybody we talk to is, when you get those phone calls, have some sort of protocol in place. There's a certain things, more like a policy. There's a certain things that we don't do. For example, we don't wire money to people that we don't know blindly. Or we don't give you our account numbers.
Of course.
So obviously, when they call you, what they're looking, it's still a part of phishing. They're looking for sensitive data, right? Those type of data, you just don't release them.
So you just hang the phone, you just pretty much hang
Yeah,
the phone,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
you delete and block them, and then they
Correct.
call from another number.
Yeah, yeah. So right now it's a cat and mouse game, but you just need to be aware, And that's one of the things that we do. We also train our people that we work with on a monthly basis. We'll send them tactics of what the threat actors, some of the things that they need to look for, right? So so you just have to be aware.
So I have a situation. I was on pins and needles, but I didn't. I felt like I didn't have any other choice. But of course, we always get to choose, right? But I was trying to hook up my printer with my computer and get the software, and also make sure that I could do it with the phone. And so when the company says, okay, let me take over your computer, I was like, but they needed to see it, and I needed to see how they do it so I wouldn't have to go through it again. But when I tell you, I was a nervous wreck throughout the whole time, especially when they say, okay, let me put you on hold. And I'm like, what are they going to do? Well, how are they going in other parts? So tell me, is there a better way to do it? Are you saying we shouldn't do it? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so there are a few websites out there that looks like the manufacturer's website. Okay, so you want to be aware of.
But I made the call.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first thing, that when you make the call, you want to make sure that you're actually contacting the right company, right? You want to make sure you verify the domain that you got the phone number from. You want to make sure that it's the right phone number that you.
So how do you verify? By going to
You go into the official website.
official? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Going to the official website, you have to be aware. You have to pay attention to what you're clicking on, making sure it's the right website, making
Correct.
sure it's a proper number and things like that. Sometimes they may need to remote into your system.
Yeah.
there's a lot of scams out there too. So that's why you have to be
that's why I was so nervous. But I had used them before, but even with the first time, I was still nervous. The number is consistent, and you know, I do get billing from them, so I knew it was official, but it still didn't ease my nerves by saying.
But then you have
taking over.
hackers who probably work for those companies.
That's
and
what
then
I
they
was afraid.
decide to go off and branch out on their own and do their
That
hacking.
sound like the official. True.
You know, so you just don't know. And I don't want you saying any names per se, but how can folks contact you? I mean, again, the small man, that little entity, the Speak Harmony, we're not on that big platform yet. So how do we deal with those nuances? How do we really, you know, protect ourselves? I mean, do we call, if we can't afford to pay Mr. Wilson because you're a shot caller, you're a big gun. So you probably said, listen, her stuff is that we don't handle that level of stuff. What would you say? Where would you recommend that someone with my little business go and get help? Because I can't afford to pay for that right now.
Yeah.
How do we get help? So
there are a few vendors out there. So you always want to look at a few. When we're talking about cybersecurity, it's a multiple layer that you have to think about. So first, you have to understand where your communication points coming in. So emails, you probably want to use, as I mentioned last time, use a professional email account where you can put what we call email filter solution that can remove any potential threats from your system. And then you want to have a good antivirus solution, more of what we call incident endpoint protection. They call it EDR, endpoint incident response solution on your system. And certain other things that you can do. If it's a laptop, you wanna make sure the information is encrypted, either at rest, meaning that when it's on the system itself, or if you're sending any sensitive data to people, you want to make sure that communication it's encrypted in transit while you're sending it out. Either putting it through a secure portal, or if you're sending it through an email solution. That's why the encryption it matters. So you want to be able to encrypt that information.
Yeah, a lot of CPA are using those portals as well.
So we work with a lot of CPAs.
CPA, yeah. So you specialize in aligning people, the processes, and the technology. So where do most organizations fall short?
The biggest thing that I see is compliance. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
So obviously, I'm going to give you a very simple analogy. For me to get here, I drove almost an hour to get here. For me to get here safe, it's because I comply with the rules of the traffic laws out there. I wasn't doing 100 miles per hour. I wasn't, running red lights or none of that stuff, right? So I got here safe. So when you're running a business, you still have regulatory compliance that you have to adhere to, especially when you're dealing with people's sensitive information, right? So if you don't have these layers in place, there are guidelines that the government, either if you, for accounting firms, they have what we call the FTC safeguard rules that they need to follow. And if they're working with people in the medical fields, on top of that, they have HIPAA that they need to comply with. And what we do is understand all these regulatory requirements and the guideline they set forward, and then we build solutions to help clients meet those needs.
You know, you said HIPAA and then you said medical, and so it just struck a chord with me because with that space, so many times, so often you hear people, and I go back to it, people have left the organization, and now all of a sudden there's a breach. Because people's information is just out there. So as far as getting the right people, it's almost like you it's a gamble. It feels like, because I mean, you don't know who's going to be that crooked-minded person. So when they leave that job that night, they go, "Oh my God, I saw the billionaire so and so. I saw her bank account, or I saw her whatever, and I'm just going to stalk her. I'm just going to." It's like we always feel open, so that's why we need you. But oh my gosh, speak to that space where we're saying, oh my goodness, someone leaves and then we're left to our own devices.
Yeah.
It's a scary place to be.
Oh yeah, no, that is a
scary world.
That is a great question. The number one thing that we always tell our clients is you have to have policies. You have to have policies, not only have policies, but have policies that are enforceable, right? And then what I love for people to do is whenever somebody's exiting the organization, have an exit interview. Then remind them, you are exiting this organization and you have a certain things that you sign, that those things you still can be, there's consequences if they are,
Violated.
violated. Right.
Interesting.
Because I know
So, yeah.
sometimes organizations, there are some passwords that they go into, and then the company may be kind of too lax
Right.
to take them off right away. But having a policy in place that if you know they are leaving, whether terminated or they're leaving or they're resigning, that we need to immediately take away those.
Correct. So,
Yeah.
So those policies, that's a part of your offboarding
Exit.
process.
Yeah.
Right. You
Yeah.
have to have inventory of every devices that
Yeah.
person have access to, every
Yeah.
critical passwords
Yeah.
they have access to. You don't share any passwords because when somebody leave, if you share the password and then they left, they still have the password.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we try to have everybody have their own unique accounts, and then the minute that they leave the organization, you shut everything off.
Shut everything
Correct.
So
down.
what we try to do is maybe have something like a single sign-on. You give them one account to sign on to multiple applications, and then when they leave, you just turn off one account, and then all the permissions is wiped out.
Now, if there's, because we're pretty much out of time, but I want to ask you one thing that you would say to folks that they're leaving. We have an organization, and we have this person sets up the securities, the passwords, everything. One person. How many people to verify and to make sure that you have all the securities? Because if I set that website up and I put in the password, but I give it to the president or the secretary or whoever, what's that number of persons that should have the password to this? And how frequently should this be verified? Or, is there any way? I don't know if I'm asking you but you understand, you see where I'm going with that. Because
Right.
I've heard of stories where I set up the website, boom, and guess what? I said, you know what? I am ticked off at the president. I'm ticked off at the whole organization. I'm going to screw them over. And so what I do, I change that password, and you're all locked out. And then what?
Yeah. So we usually like to have more than one admin. And then we always like to have what we call a break glass account. The break glass account is an account that you live there. You store.
And it's called the break glass?
Break glass. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's the same concept. Like if you're in a building, you'll see an axe and a fireplace. If a fire
Yes.
break out, they'll break the glass and get out the password, right? So you have a break glass account. You store that password. It's written, a long password. It's written somewhere, and then you store it somewhere. So in the event an employee get hit by a bus, and you have something to go by. And the next
That's
thing
good.
is
That's good. That's good.
the next thing is documents.
Yeah.
Documents.
That's
Because
good.
that's the easiest way to transfer knowledge is by having a repeatable process that is documented. So
Yeah.
if I'm gone,
Yeah.
you have the documents.
Documents.
You can move
That makes
forward.
sense.
Yeah.
Well, Wilson, we cannot leave without you talking about level 3 MD.
Yes.
All right. So yeah,
In a minute we'll have it up there. I'm not sure if they've flashed it up. Yeah, there it is, level 3 MD.
Yeah, so Level 3 MD, it's an organization my wife and we have with an IT and cybersecurity company, including AI consulting now. We want to make sure businesses, small businesses in particular, have resources that they need to level the playing field, right? Many, not too long ago, only big organizations had access to big technology. So when we come in is making sure small businesses have access to the same type of technology as well. And we focus on risk management. We focus on making sure that you are compliant. The one thing that people don't know, 60% of small businesses will go out of business after a hack.
Oh, wow. Real 60?
60%.
After being hacked.
Wow.
Being hacked.
Oh.
The reason is there's potential of lawsuits, civil lawsuits. There's potential of being fined from regulatory compliance, and there's your downtime. When you're downtime for X amount of hours, if all your information is gone, you have to start all over again.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
60%.
Yeah, 60%.
Yeah,
of small
that's
businesses.
Well,
significant.
we appreciate people like we really
Yeah.
appreciate people like you, organizations like you that just don't only deal with the man that's up here and
Right.
have thousands of employees, but you start from the grassroots, if
Yeah.
I may say so.
Correct.
Yeah.
And come up so you help everyone.
Everyone,
You cover
yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone who understand the level of risk that they have and have a little something to invest, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a cost of doing business.
Business, absolutely,
Of course.
yeah, yeah. And so quickly, and very few, before we ask you for your information, where do you see AI and technology in the next 3-5 years?
Wow, that's
And I said say that
that's-
quickly, right?
Yeah, AI is the new. It's here to stay. I shared something over the weekend. I deployed an AI solution over 2 years ago. It saved me over $80,000.
It saved you?
Yes.
Wow.
So I replaced my receptionist, which used to be close to a $40,000 per year role. I replaced it with a solution that costs about $397 per month.
So you know what you just
Using
told a
AI.
whole bunch of those young folks that are, or people who are out of job, or jobs, just like you said, you went from one job and here you are, the
Right.
CEO, the founder of this big business. Get into it. I mean, any word of wisdom that you would offer to, especially young folks or people who are in that transition right
Yeah.
now between jobs, just lost their job.
Yeah.
What would you suggest?
Follow the trend. Follow the trend. I started at the very bottom of IT doing phone support. That's the lowest, and then pivot over to desktop support. Then I see I needed trend is moving. Then I moved to server side. Cloud became something. Then I got certified in cloud. Then cybersecurity came along. Then I pivot to cybersecurity. Cloud cybersecurity came along. Then I got certified again. Pivot to cloud cybersecurity. I was an architect for one of the major organizations, many major organizations here. And before I decided, just be curious and follow the trend.
I like that.
Always
Be curious.
Be
and follow
curious.
the trend.
Be a lifetime student.
Yeah, lifetime, because that's what I
Yeah,
was going to
'cause
say.
My wife would
You
tell me,
continued, yeah.
And there are free information out there.
Yeah.
YouTube is one of my free universities.
It is, yeah, that's what I call it, university, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the information's out there. And we love to mentor. We love to share our knowledge. We don't gatekeep anything. So
Oh, I love
anybody
that. I know your wife.
wanna
She's
learn
amazing. So-
Something.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yes.
we're here.
All
Yes,
right.
yes, yes.
So how can people get in contact with you?
Yeah, so our website is Level 3 MD, and our phone number is 770-648-3399. You'll get to speak with our amazing AI employee, and then they can write the calls accordingly, or they can book a meeting for one of our team members. And
Well, thank you so much.
Oh my gosh.
Speak Harmony family.
Oh my goodness.
We went a little over, but we just had to
Yeah.
had to do the talk. We had
Right.
to speak Harmony. We did. That's
had
right,
to.
and we needed to learn
as
about
usual
the
though, Sharon,
cyberspace.
you know, when we say wink, wink.
Yeah.
Guess what? We're family. So You know,
Kindah.
like that's a Kindah. So guess what?
Yeah.
The Wilson family
Yes.
will be back. Joe Wilson and Farah will be back in the studio because we're family now.
Okay, that's
we're family
right.
now.
That's
So you're
right.
just gonna
That's
be you're just
right.
gonna be going outside, getting freshened up, and coming right back.
All
because
right.
We're gonna have you back in here. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
and sharing
you.
your time and your knowledge with us.
Thanks for
Yes,
having
it
me.
gave me a lot of food for thought, and I'm definitely going to
heart.
investigate in some of those. Well,
Yes.
Speak Harmony family, it's time to go, and we had a great time in our show. We hope you did too. We invite you to be kind and comment and make suggestions. Maybe you would like to be on the show. Thank you once again to our guests, Mr. Wilson Joseph and Miss Norma Rowe-Edwards, and of course to our sponsor, APAT Media Group.
And our audience.
And we have our
Beautiful folks in the
audience. Hey,
so
thank
much
you.
for
Big up,
coming
big
in.
up. And also, we want to big up Mr. P and son Damien for producing this podcast. So we see you next Tuesday, right here, YouTube, 7P to 7A. Until then, keep speaking harmony.
Like, subscribe, and share.
They talk about health, they talk about care, sharing tips, they got us without a care. Thank you for listening, you're the best.